Army takes you to a different level. It takes you to a level which says that country first. So anything below that makes you small. Whenever I go in different forums, normally I say that Trivandrum is one of the most strategically important city of the country. I always feel that the current generation is the best generation to take the country forward. I think that is the most important thing. Service before self.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Aspire, Stories of Innovation, the Technopark podcast. Technopark, the first IT park in India, one of the largest green IT parks of the nation. With its state-of-the-art facilities and collaborative workspaces, Technopark has initiated the IT revolution in Kerala. To lead such an ecosystem enabler is not something very small, right? It requires a lot of strength, discipline, and courage. And where do you find all these values? Of course, in our defense system. Why am I giving such an introduction today? Because today we have a guest who is aligned to all these values. It's my privilege and great pleasure to invite Col Sanjeev Nair, Chief Executive Officer, Technopark.
Thank you, Karthika.
So welcome to Aspire and good to have you here today.
Thanks. My pleasure.
So you are the first ex-army officer to lead Technopark, a unique crossover of worlds, right? So what really sparked that pull towards service and uniform? Maybe can you just give us a go-through of your journey in the armed forces?
Well, talking about Army, I am the first from my family to join Army. And I still remember that day when I got selected in Service Selection Board interview. So that was like a game changer for me. Army is something like which we call as a way of life. Mm-hmm. So I got a flair of multiple units. I've been going through various postings in multiple areas like tactical communication area as well as static communications, something related to communication intelligence, electronic warfare. So 21 years in Army, it gave me a solid background. And Army takes you to a different level. When I say, it takes you to a level which says that country first. So anything below that makes you small. Be it, caste, creed, region, religion, all those things makes you small. So it takes to a pedestal. So it has given me an identity, and I think that was something which I was always interested in. How that interest came up, I can't remember, but I think it was one of my friend's father who was in the armed forces, and I think he would have inspired me in some way to think about this as a career, and very happy with that particular journey.
So having served more than 2 decades in the armed forces, it must have been not an easy choice, to get a voluntary retirement. So how did you prepare yourself to go beyond a journey that is beyond armed forces?
Frankly speaking, I did not do any sort of a preparation because Army itself prepares you a lot. If you look at the type of management lessons that we learn outside, most of the things have been culled out from the Army. So anything related to HR or admin or logistics or anything related to operations, most of the practical things have been taken out from the armed forces itself. So already that preparation was there. It was only that I had to adapt to a different scenario, because unlike armed forces outside, it's not much organized domain, right? Yeah. There people are quite disciplined. It's very easy to manage those people. But outside it, you have to be a little flexible. So that sort of an adaptation was required, but the core values remained there. So, after leaving Army, I could get into a company which was a small and medium enterprise. So that was into comment solutions domain. That is again because of my past experience of commanding a SIGINT unit. I could easily, get into that particular domain, and I was involved with business development and operations of that particular company. So it gave me a good exposure as far as the corporate sector is concerned. After that, I had a short stint with an NGO also called as Deepalaya. It is one of the largest and biggest operational NGOs in Delhi. Okay. And finally, then I got into an organization called as Defense Innovation Organization. So that was something like a bridge between armed forces and the startup ecosystem. Mm-hmm. So that was the place where I got an exposure towards the startup ecosystem. So a little bit of adaptation, and I think I went along with this thing. And after IDEX and Defense Innovation Zone, I came to Kerala, and this is my first stint in Kerala.
So between this transition from armed forces and, the corporate world, have you ever felt unsure, or maybe conversely, like you had the feeling that, yes, this is the call? Have you felt like that?
I won't say that I was unsure. I was quite convinced that this is the right time to move on. because when I look back, 21 years of service in Army, and I think I have given my prime time for the armed forces. So I left Army after commanding a unit. So that is the stage where, that is the last stage wherein you have a direct interaction with the troops. After that, you get into the higher echelons, which is more like a, staff-related task.
Okay.
So I thought, let me explore, because armed forces give you that opportunity to make a transition. After 20 years, when you complete your, 20 years tenure, you can switch over.
Returning to Kerala to lead Technopark, it was I believe it was a coming home moment for you. So what do you think about that? How did you deal with it, like emotionally, physically, or even professionally? How was it?
I think it was a mixed calling, I was just completing my tenure in Defense Innovation Organization. And 3 years back, I lost my dad. So my mom was alone. So that was the first thing. Second, my son got his admission in IIT Palakkad. So that was the second reason. And I thought, let me look for some opportunities which is there in Kerala. So I came through this advertisement and I appeared for this thing and I got through. And frankly speaking, most of my relatives, everybody initially discouraged me because you have not studied in Kerala, you'll not be able to manage things here in Kerala. But again, it was a, soldier's instinct which said that, okay, let me explore this particular domain also. So I came with a very, very neutral mindset. When I had traveled in Trivandrum, I've always seen Technopark from the other side.
Yeah.
So I thought, let me venture into this particular ecosystem to explore how this ecosystem is. So I took it as a challenge. And I think 3 years, I'm quite contented what I have explored.
So the tenure during the 3 years, it was very surprising, adventurous for you.
Yeah.
Can you relate it to your tenure during the armed forces?
As I mentioned earlier, I came here with a very neutral mindset. When I say neutral mindset, is like, when you look at Army, it is a government organization, but one of the finest organization, and it is considered as, the last resort. So I had a flavor of that particular, organization already. So I felt, let me explore the things that I've gained from that place. So it gave me a lot of confidence when I was coming here. So the thing that was there in my mind was to be, complete professional when you're coming into this particular domain. So when I say neutral mentality, it is actually related to that mindset of being professional, irrespective of what sort of challenges come up. It could be anything related to, biases. It could be anything related to, any sort of political lineage. So for an armed forces guy, it is something like, they are quite apolitical. They feel that, okay, it's a professional work. We have to target it in that way.
So again, speaking about Technopark, we are undergoing its largest expansion ever, right? So how do you balance that urgency of speed with sustainability, governance, and other expectations?
Well, talking about Technopark, I think it has got a terrific legacy. We are into our 35th year now.
Yes.
So there has been a terrific legacy been laid down by, the previous stalwarts who have been here, along with the wonderful team, which has, made it as one of the most robust ecosystem which is there. So it was a very far-sighted visionary's thought at that point of time to think about, an IT park, when even IT was just a buzzword at that point of time. And the growth has been tremendous. I won't say that it has been an exponential growth, but there has been always a linear growth. And that has always balanced, the evolution of technology and the ecology both in this place. Because if you look at Technopark, it doesn't look like a classical IT park or a concrete building that you see outside.
Right.
It has got a good blend of, infra plus ecology. And so that is the biggest strength. And now if you look at Technopark, what initially started like more like coming up with new buildings and all for an IT company, now it is an ecosystem enabler. Why I say it is an ecosystem enabler? So if you look at, various aspects under Kerala IT, for example, Startup Mission or ICT Academy of Kerala or Space Park, Digital University of Kerala, you will find those establishments are actually within the park campus itself.
Right.
Apart from that, 500 companies.
Correct. Yeah.
So it is a macro ecosystem which is there. So when I look at Technopark now, within, I think, next 3 to 5 years, I can see a lot of activities that are going to happen here.
So, Thiruvananthapuram, today it sits at a rare intersection, right? You mean like the space, defense, maritime strength, and deep technology. So, how do you see this convergence shaping not just the city, but India's strategic future itself.
I always make this as a point whenever I go in different forums. Normally, I say that Trivandrum is one of the most strategically important city of the country, and there is a reason why I say this. During the past, this event called as Huddle Global, we had our astronaut Group Captain Prashant Nair also giving a wonderful speech. And in fact, he started off by saying that, Trivandrum is the rocket city. It has been an area where ISRO has flourished. Yeah. So space segment, it has got a big presence. Not only ISRO, even one of the institutes which is associated with Department of Space, like Indian Institute of Space Sciences and Technology, that also is here in Trivandrum. So space segment has a big role here. Second thing is that if you look from the defense perspective, you have got one of its special, amphibious brigade which is there here in Trivandrum. That is one of its kind. That is at Pangur. You have got Southern Air Command which is there in Trivandrum. And now the proposed Maritime Theatre Command, again, it is going to be coming up in Trivandrum. Then the Vision Port is coming up in a big way. BrahMos, it is already there. It is going to further expand. Space Park is going to come up. If you look at all these strategic assets together, you will find that, it is an ecosystem which is coming up in a big way as far as space, maritime, defense and everything is concerned. So that is how I look at Trivandrum. What I spoke about is more from the strategic point of view. If you look at other aspects in terms of quality of living, accessibility, the type of roads that we have here, it's very easy to move from one place to the other place. There is no traffic chaos which is there. And it is a very culturally vibrant place. That is how I look at it. So I can see that, Trivandrum is going to evolve like a strategically important city. And in the next 3 to 5 years, I can see the change.
Technocity and Global Capability Center, or the GCC, push mark a significant shift, right? So what makes this phase fundamentally different from the conventional IT park expansion models?
Yeah, when you look at Technocity, it is something that we call as the destination next of Technopark. So if you look at the growth story of Technopark, so this is phase 1 where we are sitting now.
Yeah.
So this is saturated.
Right.
Possibly, a World Trade Center by Brigade, which is going to come up here. That would be the last thing which will happen in phase 1. Phase 2 is already been occupied by UST and Infosys. Okay. And phase 3 is a place wherein I would say around 70 to 80% development activities are happening or already happened, because we have our own Ganga Yamuna building which is there, and Taurus Embassy is already there. And we have got multiple, co-developers who are already shown interest, and they have already taken land passes there, like Al Marsuki, Highlight and all. So we are hardly left with, few land parcel which is there in phase 3. So phase 4 is a place which is nearly half of the land parcel of Technopark. And we came up with a master plan. So the master plan gives out the complete zoning of that area. So few assets are already there, like Digital University is already there. Our own company building is already there. Suntech has come up with a campus and all. So we have categorized zones in that particular area. So our own quad project is going to get launched. And there is a zone specifically meant for us a GCC cluster. So when we say GCC or a Global Capability Center, it is something like an offshore unit of any multinational company, which is not just restricted to, an office just as a back-end office. It will be something more related to, innovation, R&D and all those things. So it has to be a holistic offshore unit of a multinational company. So that's how we categorize GCCs. We already have got presence of good GCCs in Technopark. Okay. Like Allianz is there, Chandra Block is there, Zafin is there, and there are many more. So we, if you look at India also, there is a lot of impetus on, getting GCCs into our country. Apart from that, GCC cluster, we have got Space Park coming up there. Okay. MSME Centre is coming up there. Unity Mall is coming up there. And, TCS is expanding in a big way. They have taken 94 acres of land parcel. Their first building is going to come up by end of this January. Okay. Startup Missions Emerging Technology Hub is going to come up there. So holistically, if you look at that complete place, it has got a talent hub in the form of Digital University of Kerala. And similarly, all those emerging technologies, you talk about space or any other thing, space or TCS coming up in a big way, Quad project coming up. Then we are talking about a GCC cluster. So it has got different flavors. Right. So that area is going to come up like what we see in Karakutam. So that would be another, sub-city or a city in the city.
Kerala Defence Innovation Zone, or KDIZ, right? So it almost feels like a full circle moment where defense, technology, innovation, and Kerala coming together. What excites you most about this initiative, and what possibilities does it unlock?
Well, talking about Kerala Defence Innovation Zone, it was a thought which came up when I just joined Technopark.
Okay.
So it was a joint initiative between Technopark and Startup Mission. Because when you look at innovations, it is something which is of great interest to startups. Since I came from a background wherein I was with the Defence Innovation Organization, and I had seen, how many startups are, aligned with defence and aerospace as an opportunity. So the quantum of startups from Kerala was not that high.
Yeah.
So the most of the startups that they were coming, we were from either from Bangalore or Hyderabad or Delhi, Mumbai, the main, metro cities. Right. From Kerala, it was just a handful of startups. So, and a few of them like iRove and all, incubator under Maker Village. So there were few startups who were aligned with defense and aerospace as an opportunity. It was not because of lack of competence with startups. It was basically because of lack of visibility.
Right.
Because you need to know that, defense and aerospace is one segment wherein in the past there has been a lot of imports. So over a period of time, there has been a conscious decision being taken that we have to lessen the imports. We have to be self-sustainable. Okay. We have to create our own indigenous items. And, we have to, support the armed forces.
Okay.
So this concept of innovations would have started in the last 10 years. Since we got independent in 1947, we didn't have that, bandwidth available to us to, come with an innovation bent of mind and all. So whatever was available, we were taking it, we were importing, and that's how we started building out, the equipment profile of armed forces. But now there is a lot of impetus been given to make it indigenous. So that is why these schemes like IDEX, Innovation for Defense Excellence, or under Department of Defense Production, and similarly Technology Development Fund, which is part of DRDO. So they started coming up with taking on challenges from armed forces, throwing it to the ecosystem so that they can get solutions from the startups. And they used to fund. So I was part of that ecosystem. I was with IDEX scheme. So when I came here, I felt that, okay, this particular scheme, which is at the national level, possibly that visibility is not there out here.
Yeah, right.
So KDIZ was basically thought about to give visibility to the startups which are there in Kerala. If you look at Kerala, it is like an enlarged city, right? You don't find demarcation between places. And you look at, you have got a presence of army, you've got presence of Air Force, and you've got a presence of Navy in Kochi. So all the three elements are present in the state. So we thought that, let us connect these places also. So the way it has started off now, we have got a connect in Pangod cantonment also. They have created a technology hub wherein on a fortnightly basis, startups are going and interacting with them, because that ice breaking has to happen. Right. Because you need to know that, armed forces is one segment where, they require a lot of help from the startup ecosystem and the companies which are, from India.
Right.
So that was the main aim. And then we started mapping the other stakeholders. And then we thought of, why not connect with think tanks also. So there are various think tanks of defense also, like Claus is there, Sanjos is there, Manohar Parikar, IDSA is there. So they talk about the operational aspect, and they come out with, international relationship, because you have to have a macro image also. Because whenever you are getting into innovations, it is not just limited to the technology per se. You need to know that what's happening in the world. So we tried to connect all those dots, and we are still in the process of connecting the dots. There are a few things which are yet to be done, but basic things have been connected. And I can see that visibility is happening, and people are trying to attempt the challenges which are coming from IDEX or TDF. So that's about KDIZ. So it is evolving now.
So many people are not able to associate service with creativity, right? So, but you have often displayed that strong creative bent of mind. How does creativity influence your leadership and the problem-solving skills?
When you look at a person from armed forces, generally you feel that, okay, this person is quite a serious guy.
Yeah.
Right? So in fact, it is the other way around. When it comes to interacting with any soldier, you'll find they are the finest human beings on the earth. They'll be more welcoming, and everybody you'll find some or the other talent would be there. Irrespective of the type of serious jobs they're doing, you'll find that some creative bent of mind would be there. When I came here, I won't say that I have been super creative and all, but yes, whenever an opportunity used to come up, I have, got engaged with those things. Maybe with a flash mob during GTech marathon, or some singing or something, when I have to, be part of the team. And even after my retirement, because while in service, you can't explore more. After retirement also, I've tried something with, a little bit of modeling also, something related to, acting in a small web series also. That is a small role. I've tried all those things. So it is always exploring new things. And while in army, you are not supposed to keep the beard. So the moment I came out from that place, I thought, let me try this. I had a tattoo also now. So all those things you can't do while in service.
You have been distinctly pro-current generation at a time when Gen Z is often criticized, right? So what do you see in this generation that maybe others are missing?
In today's scenario, it is not like, yesteryears, wherein technology was not moving at such a faster pace. Now technology is moving at a very, faster pace. So if you try to put our own template to the current generation, it will not work. Yesteryears, it could still work because things were, moving at a very slow pace. But today it is not like that. So they will, the current generation will start questioning you. I'm a father of a Gen Z. At times, when I find his questions coming to me, I used to feel that, okay, there is a rationale behind that. I don't have an answer to that. So I feel that, okay, this generation is actually questioning you. They will question the fixated ideas.
Okay.
If you put that same template, what we have undergone through, and put it here, it will not work, because their takeoff level is totally different. So we have to facilitate them to take off from where they are now. So let them question. And I strongly feel they if you give them a purpose and all, they are quite, all agog to do all those things. But only thing is that they should feel that, okay, whatever we are going to tell them, it should have some meaning. If you just say that, okay, the work has to be done like this, it will not happen. So you have to create an atmosphere wherein you have to adapt also to know them. I always say that there would be a requirement of even a reverse mentoring also, because at the pace at which things are happening now,
right,
we myself might not be abreast with all those things. So it is always good to learn from them. And that will create an ice breaking. So that's how I look at Gen Z. And I always feel that, the current generation is the best generation to take the country forward at any given point of time. Because, they are the younger minds. If you start targeting them, then who will lead? So we have to understand them. We have to make an effort to know them.
So when people look back at your journey from armed forces, that is a soldier, to becoming the CEO of Technopark, what is the one value you hope that they see constantly running through you till now?
So the value, I would say that lead by example. Simple mantra, everybody observes you. Second is that you should be ready to, adapt to situations, but retaining the core values. So that is one thing which I always emphasize, that you might be, seeing a lot of changes all around, because you'll find, strategies getting evolved, technology is disrupting a lot of things, but still, if you can adapt to those situations by keeping the core values intact, your intent will be always clear, and walk that extra mile to, make things happen. Remote controlling will not help.
Yeah.
So you have to get to people, you have to, get to situations and start working on it. I always say that if your soldiering is good, if you're a disciplined guy, you know how to mingle with people, and who can walk that extra mile, I think things will be in place.
So as a closing note to today's episode, I just came to know that you are living your current role as the CEO of Technopark. During these changing times, right? So if you had to leave with our listeners one thought about leadership, what would that be?
Let me talk something about my, experiences of being in Technopark. It had been a fantastic journey in Technopark. I got a terrific legacy to take forward, and an excellent team to, coordinate things. And that's how I can visualize, an ecosystem like this being managed by a small bunch of people. It's not that easy. And I'm actually, I've not studied here in Kerala. So this is my first stint in Kerala, and being in this particular hot seat gave me a terrific visibility into Kerala's IT ecosystem. So thanks for that particular thing. And I could see, lot of interest coming up from various stakeholders, be it in terms of companies or in terms of co-developers. It has been a terrific journey which has been here. And talking about, the leadership thing that you are talking about, I think it continued what I had been doing in the past, and that soldier's instinct had, enabled me to, pursue the same thing in Technopark also. Because I still remember that day when I completed my tenure as a commanding officer in a unit in J&K. So I, connect with the similar feeling even now, because the type of ecosystem Technopark is, it is unparalleled. So I would say that this is something like a second journey, second innings, which has been equally important the way I had when I was commanding the unit. So that is how I look at this particular thing. If you value people whom you are going to serve, it could be the people, the ecosystem. I think that is the most important thing. Service before self. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for being here today. And I believe and I know that it will be a surprise for the audience, because this will be the first time they'll be getting to know about a person who was in the defense and then now into the corporate world leading Technopark, right? So it was great having you here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Karthika. It was a pleasure for me being part of this particular podcast, and it's a wonderful series which is going on. Thanks.
With that, we have come to the end of this episode. I'm Karthika signing off.